Hi, my name is Bob Lindy. I'm an herbalist and an herb grower. Today I'm going to talk to you about herb gardening for beginners. And that's one of the great things about the culinary herbs that we're so familiar with. They're so easy to grow and probably the perfect choice for both children and even older adults who are just beginning to explore the types of herbs that they can grow to enhance their diet and their health using these herbs. So usually we can just find some plants that are already in pots at our local garden store, and many of them, like basil, can easily be started by seed. For me, I've oftentimes, once I've prepared my soil to make sure that it's rich and well drained, with basil seeds, I'll just throw them in the garden randomly, not even the pretty rows that we so often think about, and allow them to grow in a little bit more wild area. And with things like rosemary, a little bit harder to start by seed, so I oftentimes will buy either a cutting from a friend, or I'll go down to my local garden store and go ahead and get one that's already starting to get a little bit bigger. Usually about 6 to 8 inches tall is plenty. And with rosemary, I always like to get a couple because they're slower growers, and I really use it a lot in my cooking and just to smell and touch because it's such a wonderful fragrant smell. So the big things for beginners, whether you start indoors or out, make sure you've got good rich soil that's well drained, and most importantly, with full sun. The biggest mistake that the beginners make is they'll overwater those herbs. So make sure you just do a gentle misting once a day if it's an indoor, or outdoors, just kind of judge it on your weather. Make sure that you don't water every day. Usually once a week is all that's necessary for most herbs once they're established. And with things like basil, make sure that you trim it back regularly so that it doesn't start to go to seed or go into flower when you start to lose some of that wonderful smell and taste that's so often associated with basil. So this is Bob Lindy talking to you about growing herbs for beginners.